Hey, get to mug. I didn't see a blog post for the 0.14 Zig release. Well, there was a blog post about it being delayed. How about that? um, well, I mean, if you go on the official website, like if you go to ziglang.org, you can see here the latest version 0.14, and if you click on changes, you can see the release notes. So yeah. Okay. Hey, JJ. 0.9.0? Yes. Zine, not Zig. So Zig is 0.14, yes. But my static site generator, it's a version 0.9. They're not matching. But I also made a new release, partially because it depends on a new version of Zig. Hello, X2. Okay, I think I need to go make myself some tea. I definitely need that. Boy, do I need that. Why take the Zig build system out of Zine? I can explain. So let's make this pact. You stick around while I go make tea, and when I come back, I'll give you an explanation. I'm gonna put up like what do you call the thing? A kettle. I'm gonna put on a water kettle. So just gonna take a moment. I'm gonna be back soon, and we can chat while we wait for the tea to boil. Go check the mail. Okay, let's go. Go fast. Go check the mail fast. I'll wait for you to come back before I answer your question. Okay, let's do this. Oh, wait, did I announce stuff in Discord? I did not announce anything in Discord. Can you explain the relationship between Zig and VM? Sure. Okay, let me go put up that thing, and then I can chat about all this stuff. Give me a sec. Hello, everybody. Okay, let's. Hello, Viru. Hello, Filmasticolot. Caritam. Hello. So, okay. Hey, low byte folks. Okay, let's start answering questions bottom up. Well, like stack style. So first, last in, first out. Can you explain the relationship between Zig and LVM? So, what's the relationship between Zig and LVM? Zig is a compiler. LVM is a compiler backend. Should I default to release safe? When? In which context do you want to default to release safe? So if you're developing locally, no, you want to do a debug build. When you're making a release for other people, then you will want to choose between release safe, release fast, and release small. And between release safe and release fast, I would say you should choose release fast unless you have a reason to not want release fast. Like you're making a web server, for example. And so for a web server, it's something exposed, to the internet. So a mistake could cause remote code execution or something. So probably the runtime performance cost of keeping checks, so of a release safe build, is probably totally worth it. If instead you are making, I don't know, a game, your game should probably be released fast. I can tell you that my static site generator is release fast. It's not release safe. I think also the Z compiler is shipped release fast. So it's up to you. It depends on what your interest is. What you're saying would be nice to add to docs. Well, I mean, it's part of life of developing software. You have to answer that same question with any other compiled programming language, except the weird ones that don't give you access to those things. Like if you're making a C program, same question remains. C++ program, same. Rust, maybe same? No, not exactly. I'm guessing Rust doesn't allow you to turn off runtime safety checks. Or does it? Maybe Rust people in chat can answer. Master binary is release safe tags. Ones are release fast. That makes sense. Most of the time is negligible, the difference between safe and fast. That's also fair. Yeah. Hey, Tasef. He already explained why he's taking out the Zig out to Zine. Yeah, it was an awesome explanation. Sorry. No, I'm not. I haven't gotten there yet. So what's the relationship between LVM and Zig? The relationship is that Zig uses LVM as a backend to produce machine code. So if you want to make a compiler yourself from scratch, you will need at some point you will analyze the text the programmers write, but then at some point you will need to choose machine instructions to output. Like if you're outputting on an x86 64 machine, you will need, to should something be a MOV? Should something be a, I don't know, LEA? Should be like, you need to choose these instructions. It's a lot of work. And also you have to do that for every architecture. So ARM will require you to have a different implementation from scratch again, etc., etc. So LVM basically does that for you. You basically output a file format that LVM understands, and then LVM does the job of outputting machine instructions. That's pretty much it. You can also do optimizations, and it's pretty good at that. The relationship then is that Zig uses LVM for that, but now we are doing the work of creating our own custom backends. So the plan is to basically stop depending on LVM and start having our own custom backends. But then there's the problem of optimizations. Those are hard to re-implement. And so the idea is to keep LVM as an optional component. So it's not going to ship with the compiler anymore. The Zig compiler will still be able to output a file format that LVM understands. But then you will have to use the Zig build system to fetch LVM as a dependency and then have LVM compile those files that are output by Zig. So that will mean that the Zig compiler will be smaller, that when you're making a debug build, you will not be using LLVM at all, so it will also be dramatically faster. I mean, it already is. If you have 0.0.14 and you're on Linux, you can see custom backends in action, and it's pretty good. So that's kind of it. So the idea is to make LLVM a optional component. When I hear a joke, it has one word. EU? What? Mamoru, hey, do you think that Zine 0.10 will be a better release since you said it will be independent at that point? I've been considering it actually, yes. I would say maybe if it's not 0.10, maybe 0.11 will be. I think we're getting to a point where, so if we want to be strict about the definition of alpha versus beta, I would say that technically that will still be an alpha because there are things that we know we want to implement for Zine that are not implemented yet. That said, if we are not super strict with the definition, it is also true that a lot of beta software out there still doesn't have implemented all the planned features, even though technically beta should have all the planned features implemented, and it's only a matter of squashing bugs at that point, right? In theory. But in practice, that's not how people do it. So people, generally speaking, they say, if it's super giga broken, it's alpha. If it's just kind of broken, it's beta. So I would say that standalone Zine will be just kind of broken and not super giga broken anymore. So yeah, I would say that standalone Zine could qualify as informally as getting into the beta stage of software. Okay, so let me go fetch my tea, and then I'm going to answer the question from JJ, which is why take the Zig build system out of Zine? So I'm going to answer that question when I come back. One sec. Okay, I'm back. So why take the Zig build system out of Zine? There are 2, maybe 3 reasons. Sorry, I'm doing a thing. Okay, I'm done doing the thing. There are 2 or 3 reasons. So I would say the biggest one is you should be allowed to be a user of Zine, even if you're not a user of Zig. Meaning, Zine should be a static site generator that should be worth using, even if you're not a Zig developer. Even if you're just a random person that wants a static website, you need to be tech savvy, of course. So it's not like you can be a complete noob and be able to use Zine or Hugo or any of the alternatives. But having a Zig dependency and having to deal with the build.zig syntax and then build.zig.zon and like Zig specific concerns, it's unnecessary. And in a sense, the Zig compiler is a dependency. It's nicer to have fewer dependencies. You could say technically that in a sense, given that we rely entirely on the build system, it's still one program. Previously, you had to install Zig as the one program that you needed. Now you will have to install Zine as the one program that you need. So it's not like a huge change, but I do think it's nice. So that said, point number 1, you shouldn't have to be a Zig programmer to be able to use Zine. Point number 2, the Zig build system is a static graph, meaning that you have two phases, configure and make. When you're running your build.zig script, that's the configure step, and you're deciding, you're basically composing a build graph that then will be consumed by the build runner, which will then run the build. Once your build graph has been decided, you can't modify it. It's static. There might be build systems that could allow you in the make phase. So as you're building something, as you're actually running the build of something, then you trigger the build of something else. So you could do that. But that's like a completely different beast than what the Zig build system is. And it comes with its own big set of downsides. So it is a limitation of the Zig build system. But in my opinion, even though I'm one of the people who is affected by that limitation, I would still argue very strongly that I don't think that Zig should do anything different. I think that for Zig, having a make phase and a configure phase and a make phase is optimal. The language shouldn't move to anything different. That said, for Zine, we have different needs because we have we want to have logic where certain things only happen if they are requested, because in like a scripty expression. So by doing something in scripty, that causes something to happen, which you don't want to do every single time. You only want to do it if you encounter it in a scripty expression. That kind of stuff cannot be represented with the Zig build system. So, long story short, the current implementation of Zine relies on the Zig build system, and it leverages the Zig build system. So we get a ton of code reuse out of the build system because we reuse the caching system of Zig, etc. But there is nothing at all, like literally zero, that you gain by expressing your build pipeline, your Zine build pipeline, as Zig build steps versus having your own standalone executable. Making your own standalone executable will require you to do more work. You will have to implement more logic that is in some ways already implemented in Zig, but that's the only downside. There is really literally nothing that you gain otherwise. Then point number 3, the Zig build system spams you with error messages, build system style. Let me see if I can find one. I have a bunch of tabs. Here I'm cutting some LSP stuff. Never mind. So I don't think I have a quick example ready, but you can basically, like whenever there's a build error, usually what you see in Zine today is the Zine error message, and then a ton of error messages. Basically, the Zig build system that tells you, look, this process, this task depended on this other task, which depended on this other task, and they all failed because of this one. This was the CLI invocation, which is not something that you want to show to a user of a static site generator. It makes perfect sense for the build system of a programming language, but for a static site generator, not really that nice. So this is point number 3. I think this is mostly it. The last one is that using this, representing build steps as separate invocations, separate steps in the Zig build system, each of which is a separate process, means that every time in your static site generator, you try to access another page, so you do like page.nextPage, it means that every process will need to parse another page n times, because the processes don't share memory and they happen independently and out of order, and so they will all do multiple parses of the same pages over and over. By having everything into one single process, you basically can say every time you do pages.next, you can access the, let's say, global hash map of all pages and look at other pages that were parsed, that were also parsed, because you have everything into one process. So in a sense, Zine has a inherent inefficiency by expressing the rendering process. Well, yeah, the rendering pipeline as multiple processes, multiple OS processes. That's what I meant to say. So would it be standalone only, or if someone wanted, they could still use it with build.zig? Oh no, you could. The plan is to keep allowing you to use it through build.zig. So if you want to, you can. And the idea is to basically make it work this way. You can build a normal version of, you can get a pre-built version of Zine and use it from the CLI, and it all works. Or if you use it from a build script or from a build.zig file, then you will download Zine as a dependency. You will build it yourself as part of your build script. It's going to be a Zig artifact that you build just like you build any other dependency. And then you should be able to do 2 extra things that you cannot do with the CLI invocation. You should be able to do, well, actually, let's say 3 things. One should be that you should be able to also specify build dependencies, meaning dependencies that are generated by the Zig build script. So the idea is that you currently can specify those in your config. So right now, let's take the Zig official website as an example. The official Zig website has basically its own system. This has nothing to do with Zine. This is like specific to the Zig website. It has a bunch of code samples that get run through a tool called doctest. So each one of them gets run through doctest, and doctest outputs an HTML file, an HTML snippet containing basically the rendered source code and the output that running that program actually produced in the terminal. So this then basically, and then what you get back from this, so from invoking Zig doctest, is the output file. So you get a lazy path to the output file. So this is an asset that gets generated by the build system. And so the way it works is that currently, when you create a Zine website, in the case of Zig, of ziglang.org, Zig is it's a multilingual website. So in that case, you see that there are all the locales that we define. And then where is it? Here. There's build assets, where we put their build assets.items. Where is this bad boy defined? It's defined in here. So we append to it, I'm guessing. Build assets. Yeah, we pass it down here. So we basically append for every one of these guys. We basically map these array of paths, running them through doctest, and then we obtain output lazy paths, and then we store all of them inside of here. So the idea is that once you will have standalone, like a Zine executable, you will not be able to do this anymore. You will not be able to define this in a static config file, but you will still be able to put them on the CLI. And the idea is that if you're a normal user, you don't have a reason to do that. But if you're invoking Zine through the build system, then you will still be able to express build assets, and then those will get appended as CLI arguments. So that's one thing. One second advanced feature that I plan to do for sure at some point is that if you're using Zig, then instead of interpreting your HTML templates, I want to compile them. So that means that right now, every time we want to render a template in Zine, there's an interpreter that literally looks at the AST of that template and walks the AST and interprets it. And if it encounters like a node that says this is an if node, then it runs the branching logic and then decides whether to enter the node or not, depending on what you're trying to do, what the if is doing. Or in a for loop, it means looping basically over evaluating the same node the same subtree, to be precise, multiple times, depending on what the for loop does. It works. It totally works. The problem is that this is less efficient than compiling. Compiling means taking the AST and transforming it into basically a executable program with native machine code that basically implements that work, but not in a dynamic manner, in a fully hard-coded manner, which means that you basically every .shtml layout becomes a separate executable. And that will be dramatically faster, but that requires having a compiler, or rather, having a compiler means that we can have that much more easily than having me to implement everything myself. Having me to have to implement a compiler, basically. So the idea is, if you're running Zine through the Zig build system, then Zine will compile your templates in order to be even faster at rendering your website. If you're running Zine without the build system, then you will not be able to compile those templates because you don't have a compiler. And who knows, maybe I will come up with better implementation of the interpreter or whatever, we'll see. But that's one thing that I want to implement. And in a similar vein, I think it would be nice if you could also like extend the number of, for example, you could implement your own syntax highlighter. So you say, look, for this language that you don't have syntax or like whatever, whether Zine already has that support or not, you say, look, for this language, I want to provide my own syntax highlighter type or syntax highlighter function. And so that way, and the way you would do this is basically by changing, by implementing a Zig module, and then we import that Zig module from Zine. So we change how we build the Zine executable, basically. Again, this is something that you can do if you have access to a compiler. Otherwise, if it's a pre-built version of Zine, you can't do that as easily or in the same way. That's kind of the idea. This last part will probably take a while before we get there, even the compiling templates part. But so the idea is that there's literally nothing for you to lose by having a standalone executable. There's only stuff to gain. Are we faster than Hugo? No, not yet, unfortunately. Well, you know what? I think that technically, once you have current Zine, once you have everything set up, it should be comparable to Hugo. Once you have everything compiled and you've rendered your website once, then incremental renders should be pretty fast. But I don't think we're, significantly faster than Hugo. I want to get significantly faster than Hugo. That said, Hugo is already pretty fast, so it's, how can I say? I'm not hating on Hugo in terms of build performance. I think it's pretty good already. I just want to flex the fact that by virtue of being a Zig program, we have a much higher performance ceiling. A much taller one. I plan to, on soonish, start using Zine to write the docs website for the terminal library I'm making. Cool. It currently uses the M4 macro preprocessor. What? You're using that to build your website? What? Am I getting this right? Okay. Okay. That was for low by Fox. Okay, so what do we want to do today? So I did a ton of, I finally did a V0.9 release, so it was long overdue. Went through all the PRs, all the things that we merged, looked at all the diffs, and made, I think, decent release notes. So I'm happy with that. Now what I want to do is I still have PRs to merge. I think I have PRs on the website itself. I think the Low Byte Fox sent a PR that I was thinking of looking at yesterday, but then I was really tired. So we have 4 PRs on the website. Okay, let's start from the bottom. Add light mode. Jesus. Add light mode. I don't know if I want to support light mode. Like, I get why people also want light mode, but I don't think I want to give it to them, because that requires now me to think about, whenever I make a change, to think about both modes, and I just don't want light mode. You made it for the Zig website. Okay, I'll take a look. So, I think I'm gonna reject this PR. Not because it's a bad idea, it's just that, like, man, yeah, I know that some people like light mode. Good for them, and they can make light mode websites if that's what they're into. It's just that I don't want my website to require me to think twice as hard about colors, man. I'm already colorblind. Like, one set of colors is enough for me to manage. Then I would have every single time to deal with 2 sets of colors, and I never get it right. I never end up getting right, like, colors for both modes. Also because you get like a different perception when it comes, like, it's not like you can take light accents on a dark website and turn them into dark accents on a light website. It's not gonna work the same way. The colors are kind of bad. It's because they are the original colors that were put against a dark background. So you're basically experiencing the fact that the same, like, it's not the same thing, basically. Like, switching from one or to the other, it's not the same thing. Like, it requires you to rethink everything, which is why I don't want to do it. It's so complicated. Wrangler action? Okay. Okay, website's done. Z website, we were saying. And I used to have, like, I have the Zine Dev dashboard, but I'm overflowed with stuff. Let's see. Remove this one. We have a new issue. You know what? Maybe we should just go through this. Super HTML is an alternative to VS Code extracted. Where? What? What's the context? What's the context? Yeah, I deeply regret this. Nobody told me that if I made open source, I would get users. I hate that. Although I do have my custom config for this, but I think it should be the same for everybody. Okay, I don't know. I just replied. Then we'll see. Oh man, this browser trying to be helpful. We're gonna keep it there, I guess. Automatic. Oh, here I have to reply. This one I merged. These are failed CIs. That's fine. This one I think I closed. Oh, it's actually it did show me that it was closed. So the closed ones we can close. About usage in Zig programs. Oh, I think we're getting there, huh? I think we're getting close. Okay, so somebody was asking, how the heck do I use Ziggy? Okay, low byte fox. Then ended up writing stuff. Okay, I think it's time to take a look. So here's how we do it then. Oh man, this is gonna be. It's been a while since I touched the Ziggy website. So get to Ziggy lang git pull. Then let's do this. That's PR number 4. New release of GH is available. I don't care, dude. Um, right. There we go. I think this is also okay. There we go. Can I decrease font size? Can I decrease font size? I. Oh my god, dude! Why are browsers like this? Okay, what are we looking at? Getting started. Ziggy in your project. Why am I not seeing Ziggy in your project? Am I blind? Hmm. So I'm refreshing. I am serving locally. I am using in a project. You do have these files. Like even if this stuff was busted for some reason, um, we should still see the sidebar. Is this the wrong template? It does use documentation.html. They all do. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Do-do-do-do-do-do. You put it under libraries. Let's get rid of our Zcash, just to be sure. Also, if I go here, tag literals is the previous one. ZFMT is the next one. What is going on? So the Zine update might have done something. Fine. Oh, you know what? Let me RM also Zig out. So the Zine update might have done something, but at the same time, I can promise you. Oh, there we go. Not found. There we go. I think that I might have been. I might have navigated in the wrong place. Let me see. I think I have local changes also. Did any of them do anything? Not particularly ones. There's a change to Helix copy that I had. Index has draft false. Oh, here's the problem. The new Zine update has done something. It has switched from Markdown to SMD. This website is so old. Where I didn't have SMD yet. So find what cool finds do we have in our history? There we go. Boom. And that also explains why. So we were seeing basically stale data from inside Zig out, and deleting it didn't recreate it because we weren't actually basically analyzing anything. So this should not be a thing anymore with standalone Zine because I'm not gonna leave stale data in there anymore. Let's see, not very clear on Scripty's GitHub page what it's for if you look at it in isolation though. Scripty is this. Scripty is the language that you put here in quotes. And they use the script attributes. That's a Scripty. Okay, we're getting errors. Exciting. What's the problem? Script result type mismatch. This attribute expects to evaluate to one of... Oh my god. The templating language also changed in the meantime. The language also changed. So this is colon HTML. Anything else in here? This is colon text. Yeah, I know. I just updated. So in your branch, I updated to latest Zig. So I did that. Latest Zine. So I broke this. But it's fine. So there's an if, there's a text, there's an if, there's a text. Oh, there's more of these guys. This one should be fine. Okay, let's see. No, still have trouble. Oh, we have prep page without question marks. Documentation is HTML. And we might be done. Almost. Markdown syntax error. Let's see. Block directive under heading. Block directives may be placed under Markdown code blocks. Oh, this is back from when I used to call sections blocks before I invented the concept of blocks. So these are actually sections. They are in index SMD. Okay. Oh, this HTML needs a colon. And then we have the problem of a built-in not found. I was staring at it and I didn't notice. So I think that get doesn't have an exclamation mark because I think now it's like this. And then we have again page.block, which is now page.content section. More errors. Man, this is so freaking old. This is all get with a default value. Why did we give it a default value? I guess what I want here is just to get, I want an error in case that thing is not there. So let's say index does HTML get. That thing has to be there. Man, this is like so old. Are we good now? I think we're good. No, we're not good. Oh, there's more in index that I forgot to fix. Hello, Bites Watcher. We're building. Ooh, what happened? Ew, what happened here? This used to have a different class. What did we call it though? What did we call it though? Is it an index specific thing? I just had an ID. It was an H2. Oh, so we don't really want to. No, we do want to keep them sections. Yeah, but it wasn't an anchor, right? It was a section without link. Okay. So here's how you do it. You make a title, which is a normal title. And then above it, you put a section. This syntax is not the greatest. It's because we don't have a block level markdown element to express the ideas. So we use a inline one, which looks kind of weird. Thank you. Found also typo. What am I doing? That's fine. I think it can be improved. I think it can be improved, so I'm gonna improve it eventually. There we go. There we go. Zigging your project. Yo, yo, yo. Okay, looks cool. Let me now dive deeper. Let's turn this into a let's turn this into a tagged version of Zig. Yes. Okay, Low Bite Fox, are you still around? Nice. Okay, so great work, by the way. I think I'm happy to merge this. I will ask you if you're up for it. To just do one change, which might imply either adding another page or expanding on this parser page. And I will explain to you what I'm talking about in a moment. So let me finish reading. Okay. I'm gonna change the wording of this slightly. So here's what's the only thing that's missing from this. There are actually two ways of parsing Ziggy in the library. What you're looking at, this is the type-driven parser. So you give it a type, and you parse a Ziggy document into that type. But there's also a second parser that builds an AST instead. So it builds an abstract syntax tree. I think it should be worth mentioning. You know what? Maybe it doesn't deserve a dedicated page, but it should be worth mentioning. You know what? I'll start doing the work myself. And then if I feel like there should be some more work to be done that I want to do now, maybe I'll ask you if you want to expand on that later on. So let me start making changes. In any case, I'm definitely gonna merge this. So let's see. Fetching the package, blah blah blah. Setting up your build.zig, and import module. Okay, that part is fine. What's the name of this page? Parser example. Okay. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'll do some of this work myself. Ziggy has two main parser APIs. Is it Zig dynamic? I don't remember. Ziggy.dynamic.value. I think this little sentence can be skipped. Ziggy parser includes a function called parse leaky. You can actually call it directly. What? What did they do there? Oh, without an I? Okay. Okay. No, we crashed the web server. No, we did not. It's just the editor that's pooping it. It's the browser that's pooping itself, apparently. Fine. Okay. Let's look at serialization. Okay. There is there's a couple of things to say about this stuff, which is stringify option. Sorry, Ziggy options. You can specify a Ziggy options type. You know what? I'm gonna leave to dos there. Here's how I'm gonna do it. Mm, where should that information leave? Maybe a new file? Yeah, I think we should make a new file for it. Oh, this is a backtick? Were you in text? Hmm. Yeah. I think it should be like this. I think I have a function to render a string as markdown. Let me double check because I don't remember. Script reference. Then we need to get our hands on a string. Len contains, ends with equal, base name, suffix, prefix, fmt, add path, syntax elite, parse int, parse date, split and lower. No, I don't have parse markdown out of this string. I should though. God damn it. Ugh. I thought I had this. Would be nice, huh? The problem is, I think a default markdown parser always puts like p tags around stuff. But I would like to only deal with a simplified version of that. I don't even have something like strip. Like I don't even have the inverse where we take a string that is HTML and we just extract text from it, where like we drop all HTML tags. I need both. Okay. Let's call it metaprogramming. Oh God, please, why are you asking der Teufel? You're scaring me. What's the license? This is too complicated. I think this is pretty much MIT. What's the problem? Oh, I messed it up. CMarkGFM will get Ziggy as written in Zig. That's insane. I mean, if you want to do it, go for it. But be ready for pain. Personally, the reason why I don't want to do this yet is because I feel like that when I will want to go full Zig, I think I will make a language that is not going to be fully compatible with Markdown, because I think that just being fully compatible with Markdown is pure insanity. I think I want also to rename the section Ziggy in your project to using Ziggy from Zig. Legacy mark for something else? No, I mean, it's still going to be markdown-ish, but it's not going to be markdown. Like, some rules about markdown are not going to... Are not... I won't follow all of them. I will only follow some. So I don't plan to change the look and feel dramatically. It should roughly still be the same, but then the rules... If you want, probably what I'm going to go for, it's going to be something more like DJ, I think. Is it called DJ, I think? Dijon. I'll go for something similar to Dijon. Oh, Dijon. This browser is going insane, by the way. It's misbehaving in so many ways. Why is it sending me to about blank? This browser... Dijon. DNS Pro finished no domain. What? Did it die? Rip Dijon? Is it dead? So I don't know. Is he using Ziggy from Zig? Yes. Works for you? Then I don't know. I don't know. Weird internet problems that I'm having, I guess. That's, you know what, you know why is that? That's because I'm not using NordVPN, the sponsor of this stream. By using NordVPN, you basically, make your internet slower for no reason. But I guess you can watch the Netflix catalog that Netflix doesn't want to give you. But you know what's even better than that? Fucking torrenting your TV shows so that you don't have to wait for buffering, because Netflix is slow. Amazon Prime is super slow. And then through NordVPN, it's even slower. So you might as well just download the whole fucking thing in one go so that you can seek around more easily. Thank you, NordVPN, for sponsoring this stream. It's not Ziggy option, it's Ziggy options. Okay, so there's that. We're not talking about schemas. And I think we need a page about front matters also. I'm gonna add a page. I'm gonna leave these as to-dos, but I'm gonna have a page for the front matter. Also, let's change the log because we have a new entry for the log. Hey, that's almost 1 year later. Ba, 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 bum, ba, 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 bum, ba, 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 bum. Torrenting a TV show is like asking any stranger you see on the street if they can give you a free copy of the show. What do you mean? You don't do that when you go around? Man, that's why they tell me to stay at home, actually. But every time I go outside, that's pretty much all I do all the time. Oh, we're already in content, are we? Oh, we're already in documentation as well. So I want to write this as what's the build error? Not found? Not found. Is it because it's not in flow? I guess I never added it in flow. That's unfortunate. Oh, but you know what? I can do Ziggy. Oh, you know who doesn't have that? Now that I think about it, you know who doesn't have support for the concept of front matter? The three-seater grammar. We should update the three-seater grammar to actually understand that as well. Oh, but I can't use Ziggy because it's gonna say Ziggy document. Can I say SMD, please? No. I'll say Markdown, I guess. It says shell. That's annoying, but that's how it has to be for now. Okay. Controls at the bottom of the page seems to be time related. I don't know. I think that what you're observing is that this editor or this browser has been open for way too long, and now it's basically just pooping itself all over the place. Let me restart it. Okay, we switched away from Zelda. We did listen to a good amount of Zelda though, so no regrets there. Ziggy.ast and Ziggy.parser. Never mind. It's something different. Let's look at the log, change log. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. Failing merge requirements. Oh, because it's still a work in progress. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, low byte folks. I'm going to say that this is ready for review, ready for merge. I'm merging this. And then if you feel like expanding on it, feel free. Otherwise, that's already pretty good. Thank you. Oh. These bunch of conflicts that need to be resolved. No, come on, dude. It doesn't really have conflicts of any kind. You're just too dumb to understand what needs to be done. Git, I hate you. Mm, I cannot push to their branch. You think so? You might be right. Yeah, it's a setting that they need to enable, but usually people keep that. Maintainers are allowed to edit this pull request. So I should be able to edit this pull request. I think it's just this. Let's go force push on somebody else's repositories. And let's look at the diff now. Should still be just those typos fixed. And that's what it is. Now examples look a bit more polished than professional. Space after the comment. Fine. Yeah, I'll do that after I merge everything. Oh. Okay. So now it should finally build and deploy. Okay. What more do we have in here? Let's see. So this can be closed now, I would say. So I'm not going to close the issue because we haven't really solved the use case. But yeah, I'm going to take these out from here. Partial test cause panic. Yeah, I don't know how to solve that one. This one got merged. This one is closed. This one is closed. CI failures. That's fine. Oh, this one, this one is I need to tackle for sure. Although it's not Zine related, it has to do with the official Zig website. I don't know what's going on there, but we need to fix that for sure. That's my stuff. That's my stuff. Keep the empty lines. That's fair. I don't want to do that now. Done. Merged. This one, people can't reproduce this. I need a reproducer for this. That's annoying. Yeah, this one got closed. Merge stuff. Super HTML is a template language library. Yeah, there need to be explanations on how to do this, but now it's not the time. Solve stuff. Add support for OpenBSD. I mean, it exists. I know. I don't need to do anything else to it. SVGs rendered inside image tags. Maybe we should do something about that. Yo, Giacomo, thank you for the raid. Hello, everybody. Welcome, raiders. So, people who have just joined. First of all, we have released a new version of my static site generator. It's still a new version. Yes, have a nice day. It's still a new version of... it's not the standalone version yet, which is what I'm working on next. But yeah, cool stuff happening. So I'm working on this bad boy. I'm going to share a link in chat in case anybody's interested. And then I'm going to continue work. What were we doing? We're going through issues and stuff. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to take this one out from here because, I mean, I know that they exist. So it's fine. I'm going to leave this one because maybe I want to do something about that soon. This one I can take out. Loopit.content does not return proper type. I think this should be considered a duplicate of some of the other ones. I'm going to call it a duplicate of 101. Alternative front matter body indicator. Right, that's the insane idea of having everything be YAML. God damn it. That part, I'm not sure. Damn YAML. This one we did. Construct ZiggyAST rather than bytes. Let's see. When converting to Ziggy format, so JSON to Ziggy, it would make more sense to construct a ZiggyAST object rather than directly writing Ziggy snippets as bytes. VA writer. The main advantage I can see for writing directly is that the writer for the final destination file std out could be passed through, giving streaming output as conversion is performed and reducing memory usage. Oh, this is not currently done. The writer is simply associated with unreleased U8. Pros, less error prone. Get proper formatting by simply printing the AST. Cons, memory impact. Yes, HTML is forbidden. If you want to embed HTML, there is an escape hatch, but it's a different system. So inline HTML in Markdown is completely broken. It's absolute garbage. So regardless of like my restriction, like just know that as a language feature is horrible. The way you can make it work is this. This is at the end of SuperMD Basics. If you want to then reference, if you want to go read it again by yourself, use the inline HTML escape hatch. So you make an HTML block, but you put an equal sign in front of HTML, and that will render as inline HTML basically. But be aware also that this HTML will be parsed by Super HTML. So, you cannot template it. So this has to be simple HTML, but it has to be valid HTML. You cannot put invalid HTML and then try to inline it. So just equal sign HTML in a block, in a code snippet block, and you're good. Oh, you saw it in CI? Oh God. Okay, I'll get there. Okay, we replied to Louis. Take this out because we did reply. FNT, no new line at the end of the file. I'm assuming that this is the fact that it doesn't add a new line at the end of the file. I don't know. I think this one is closed because it turned out that it was that. Got a reply here. Sorry for the out of the blue question. While doing my terminal lib for Windows, I realized Kernel 32 and Zig has many missing console APIs functions. You think this is something worthy being added? Good question. I think that the general answer is yeah, but the process for contributing those APIs might be slow. So be aware of that, manage your expectations. What I would suggest is you open an issue, okay. I think that's the right approach. Yes. Like, see what the core team thinks. And in the meantime, unblock yourself. That seems reasonable. Okay. Is there more RTT on ZPRs when? You know what? Maybe the Z Compiler Detective Agency should do some pro bono work occasionally and merge PRs. We'll see what MLAG has to say about that if he wants to accept pro bono work at the agency. Dude, you have to understand. We have to put bread and whiskey bottles on the table, right? So a detective agency cannot just leave of pro bono work, but maybe we could fill in one or two pro bono cases occasionally. Why not? Yeah, MLAG was moving around, so that's why we didn't do another one. But I should talk to him and schedule one soon. I'm gonna message him now. Another in Ziggy document is a Zig struct. Oh, they closed it already. Okay, what's going on with the Ziggy website? Let's fix the Ziggy website. That seems broken or something. Why are we fading? Oh shit. There's a comment. Yeah, we don't allow comments. How did this get here? What is going on? Who put this here? Also, why is this red? Okay. Oof. More stuff? Man, 125 of a ton. Let's remove the closed and merged stuff and done stuff. Because that one, there's nothing to even think about. It's just done already. Whoops. Okay, so this is kind of like the... That's kind of it. Okay, so we did a bunch of PR work. I'm happy that we did some of this work. Let's do some actual coding, maybe. It's been what, 2 hours? 2 hours of PRs, pretty much. Okay, let's actually get some work done, huh? I have too many tabs. I need to close some of them, if not all of them. Okay, close one too many. Okay, I need a bathroom break, and then here's what we're gonna do. So look at PRs. Done. Let's continue making Zine faster than Hugo. So I have a sample website that now builds correctly. But now I want to build my personal website. I want to get to a success state with my personal website. Also, there's a concurrency issue that I need to address with the Markdown parser that I don't understand, but we'll get to that. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oof. Let's go. Let us go. So what are we gonna do? We switch. There's a switch command. Conditionally execute a block of commands. Okay. Git switch. Standalone. I stand alone. So we have a work in progress commit, which I think we kind of want to pop. Might not be a bad idea. No, but I want to keep it for tests. Never mind. Can we pass our tests? Can we build and can we pass our tests? We can indeed. We do get some spam printing, but that's fine. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We go to my website. Oh, this is gonna be so funny. So here's the plan. Here's the plan. So we clear Zig out. We Zig build the website. This has re-put it into Zig out. We move Zig out to reference. And now we have a reference copy of the website. The website has a reference version. Our goal is to get the new standalone version of Zine to mirror the reference one-to-one. That's our goal. So I'm going to go in the zone file, use a local Zine. Then we do, let's build Zine so that I have it in my CLI. You could have used a work tree to achieve that. Maybe. But also, Zigout is not committed, so I don't know how that works out with work trees. So we call Zine release, and we hit a crash, which is expected. Unable to find a zine.ziggy file. Well, that is indeed fair. That is indeed fair. So we can copy Zine tests rendering simple source. We copy zine.ziggy there. Here, so now we have a zine.ziggy. Zine release. And we have content parsing errors. That's not exactly good. But okay, the front matter is missing a closing delimiter. Hey, MLAG. You've had to run the build in the work tree, but you wouldn't have had to fight Git. Now you'll have a bunch of mess in the diff CMD outputs. No, that's not a problem because I can just diff between the two directories. And I can also do there's a way of saying like ignore the, like just use a diff, like just do a diff between two normal directories and it works. Okay, so we have parsing errors. That's not great because this should be actually fine in theory. So time to go spelunking in our parser code, which has been my favorite activity lately. I just cannot stop looking at tokenizers and parsers, huh? Also, it's interesting that it only hates some of my files, not all of them. I wonder why. Yeah, you can also do like a diff without Git. That also works for sure. So I wonder what's wrong with these guys. No, you're joking. Oh, I'm dumb. So, I think I know what's wrong here. This front matter is technically correct. The thing is, this is a front matter that doesn't use the top level struct stuff. By the way, wait a second. If I do this, oh my god, wait a second. Okay, if I do this, notice that by the way that we're getting LSP diagnostics. That's awesome. But if I save, I don't get auto formatting. Should we get auto formatting of front matters from Ziggy FMT? I think we should. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Although technically this should be stuff that the Super MD LSP provides us, not Ziggy. But why not? After all, why not? Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we have this? Now, jokes aside, there's there's a little bit of conflict, right? Whose responsibility is to deal with the front matter? Should be one LSP? Should be the other LSP? Also, what happens if both try to auto format? Although to be fair, this is not. I'm not trying to implement this as a language server feature. I'm trying to implement this as a auto formatter that runs on save. Why shouldn't I rewrite someone else's code for them? What do you mean? That's what auto formatters do, and they're good. So how do we do this? Well, in any case, we need to fix the formatter, huh? We basically have a fading test case, I would say. Let's go into Ziggy, and let's add a fading test case. And the fading test case is in the... Like, who's fading this? This. Who's fading this? The front matter is missing and closing the limiter. This is a problem with the type-driven parser, I believe. So how does it work? If front matter meta different than null, we expect to see an open front matter. And then otherwise, error front matter framing error. The front matter is missing a closing delimiter. I would like to see where this string is defined though, because I'm sussed out by it a little bit. Are we sure that we're doing anything here? So here we don't say missing the limiter. Who says missing the limiter? It didn't work here? No, it's in page. Page does not say missing the limiter? It's main. Okay, so we do return open front matter. Perfect. So in page, we do this because the Ziggy parser returns open front matter. Okay, so how do we do this? In Ziggy, we have a test. We have Ziggy. We have type driven. We have errors in here. Oh no. Type driven has errors. And well, although this is not an error case, this should be a success case. It fails, but it should not fail. So never mind, we can put it as a unit test. So we're going to parser. And here we make a new test. Hopefully there's not another struct front matter. I don't know, maybe we can simplify this. Maybe we can simplify this. Let's see if this simplification works. Let's see if simplification works. Two tests failed. Oh, one is the one that we need to pull for, and the one is returns open for matter. Perfect. So we are reproducing the failure. Also, I should git pull. This way, we only have one failing test, the one that we just added. There we go. Yeah, this spurious error directory that I'm gonna commit. So git status. Okay. So with this, we have only our failing test, and that's it. There we go. Let's make it work. Why are we doing this? So basically, we're parsing a value, and then we say, okay, we call it next. What about extra? I'm kind of dumb, aren't I? Yeah. There we go. Okay, so we fix this. Let's rebuild. Let's rebuild Zine. We get Siga board. Long story short, we seg faulted, we crashed. That is kind of by design. We're crashing because we're trying to reference a function that I used to fill out on startup that I don't fill out anymore, and I leave basically undefined, a function pointer that I leave undefined, and that's on purpose because that thing we shouldn't be using anymore. So basically we're hitting a code path where that happens. So if I do ldb zine release, now we're gonna see the problem. Memory read failed. Yes. Where do we get stuck? Built-in's asset call. That makes sense. So what we're trying to do here is install assets. Right. That's kind of an interesting thing that static site generators do, right? Which is also deal with assets. We're not exactly dealing with assets yet in our standalone version of Zine. Like we literally do nothing about them. We don't scan the directory of assets. We don't check for them in any way, but we'll need to. So how do we do this? Well, we actually start doing it, right? That's, I guess, the answer. So we're going to main. In main right now, when we start running, so first thing that we do is we scan our variant directories, and then we start scanning templates. And then we scan other stuff. But I think that we should start by scanning. We should also enqueue a asset scanning job. Probably. We should probably enqueue another asset scanning job, huh? Or we do it in the main thread. That's also a possibility. Let's do it in this thread for now. We can always move it away afterwards. What's out? Oh, std out. Okay. So we ask the build to scan assets. We need asset related stuff. So we have, oh, look at this. We have assets there. We have assets, which is defined to nothing. So now we need to define assets as something. For assets, probably what we want to do is just have a name path as the key. Although, what do we want to do with that stuff? What do we care about? We care about reference counting it, I guess, right? We care about knowing if this asset needs to be installed or not. So let's reference count it basically. So it's an auto array hash map unmanaged. Yes. The name is going to be a path.path name, I think. Path table. Who has path name? Who defines it? Variant. Yeah. And the value is just a U32, like reference counting, basically. dot empty. Okay. It's probably the same signature pretty much. Okay, how do you scan assets? Well, we basically need to do some kind of recursion. This is flat recursion. In our case, we do care about recursing into directories. So we need a directory stack. Variant has that code that we can yoink, which is kind of like this. I think we also need an arena. We should also be given an arena. Okay, their stack. Can we put it on a single line? Maybe, but it's ugly. Okay, so how does it work? It contains a path and a parent section. We don't care about the parent section part, so maybe we can put this on a single line. So we start with an empty path. Yeah, I think we want to copy some more code. Hey. Sup guys, Zine isn't working with Zig 014. Was trying to compile it and broke everything. It does. Are you using latest Zine? Are you using Zine version 0.9.0? Because if you're not using that version, then it might not work with... Like if you're using 0.8, guaranteed does not work with new Zine. With new Zig. Also, second point, be aware that there's a breaking change. So if you go to the official Zine website and you go to devlog, there's an entry for version 0.9, and it will tell you that for Zig 0.14, you need to change your build.zig.zone file in your website. Also, check out what I talk about in this yellow box. You might be interested. So make sure that you follow this procedure. Also, if you're updating Zine version, take a look also at the whole breaking changes section. There aren't that many. It's actually just your zone file and prev page and next page that now have a question mark at the end. That's pretty much it. Yeah, no problem. Also, if you get errors, while I'm streaming, that's a good time to let me know about it, and I can help you unblock yourself. So while they start pop, I mean, this entry doesn't need to be a struct anymore at this point because it only contains path. There's literally nothing that we need to keep around. So it can literally just be an array list manager of strings. So we don't even do dot path. Ba-da-ba-bum, ba-ba-ba-da-bum, ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-ba-bum. So if the file is hidden, we ignore it. That is a choice for sure. It is indeed a choice for sure. Should we do this? I think that ignoring hidden files in the assets directory is not a good idea. We don't do it. Okay, so we find a file or a symlink. We don't filter them by extension anymore. We really do not do that at all. So no if, and if it's a directory, we record into. Okay, so let's do one thing at a time. B.table intern the name. And then we append file names. No, we don't do that at all, actually. We don't do that at all. We immediately want to do the final thing, which is interning full paths. Where's the path interning code in here? There we go. So asset subpath. If their entry length is 0, then it's the empty path. Yes. And then we try path table intern path. And then have the file name. I guess we can do it before. We put it here. So we have name, then path, and then we try assets.put. Do we have assets? We have b.assets. Okay, b.assets.put. Put no clobber. GPA. And then key is going to be PN. The value is going to be 0. We don't have empty path. We're going to have to make our own empty path. Oh, for us, empty path is known to be 0, basically. We can put an assert for that. What the heck am I doing? Wrong file. I don't have a path table. I don't have a path table. I have a string table. I don't have a path table. Huh. Guess we can put this outside because we don't need to loop on it. It's like kind of an outside invariant. Then yeah. Now we have to do this. If it is a directory, how does it work? We cannot do so. We have to intern the directory name as a string. Yes. 1 hour earlier today. Yeah, I didn't know what. I know that this happened. I didn't know what your decision was. I heard that you guys are messaging on Zulip. I haven't checked on that yet, but thank you for letting me know. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's making spaces in the release already knows if you were using main branch thing. Oh, thank you. What font are you using in the terminal? I think it's a JetBrains mono font. No problem, Wraith. Okay, let me see what the ZSF people are saying. Okay, so let's fast forward a bit of this work so that I also can do some stuff before the meeting. We need to push a new directory. So this is the code basically. We don't want to do this. We do want we want to put this stuff in a string table, yes. B dot B dot B dot what? Table. So we want to intern the new component. Then we want to make a new path, and the new path is going to be based on the previous dir entry plus f dot slice. Why are we doing this? And then we're calling slice on it. Well, I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world. I guess it's not the end of the world, okay. So this part should all go away, and it should all just be try b dot assets. No, this is dir stack. Append. Something on these lines. Let's see. Also, you know what? Maybe this shouldn't be here. Yeah, something on these lines. So we insert the new string name. Wait, but I'm missing something. How are we getting the path part right? I feel like we're doing something dumb with the path here. Because the path needs to increase and we're not like extending it. Where's intern extend? There's intern path where we intern near entry. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. The problem is we don't want to intern here the path because it might end up being that that path by itself never gets mentioned. It will only be part of a deeper path. Maybe there's like you enter 2 directories and there's no files in there. So you just want the full path and not also the subcomponents. Well, the prefixes basically. That makes sense. So I think this is kind of it. So here we put entry.name. So why did we intern this thing? We don't. We shouldn't. We don't need to. There we go. Okay. So with this, basically, we recurse all directories. And we... do we even need to open this dir? I don't even think we need to open this dir. Because we actually, I think, open it right away in the beginning. Yeah, we will make open path. And then we put it there. So this isn't even needed. This can be b.assets there. We're not using out whatsoever. So it turns out we don't even need it. That seems it, pretty much. Okay. I have 20 minutes, then I have to go. So let's see if this code compiles. Well, it won't, but Let's get it. Let's get it building. Unused function parameter. Yes. Well, what do you mean? I don't even use it anymore. Main. We don't give out, but we give arena, and then we reset the arena after we pass it down. So here we reset it. Actually, wait, I'm doing it wrong. This is out there. And this is arena. Okay. Let's see. Next problem. Nexto problemo. I think we should trip an assert. In theory, fatal dirt entry.path. Oh, we have something that isn't updated. Okay, so we build, but we're gonna trip an assert. I know that because do we have like an init? How does it work? We have load that returns a build. Okay, so the problem is that when we're not initializing the where do we initialize the table stuff? Oh my god, look at this. We do not initialize tables in any meaningful way. That's wrong. Okay, so here's what we should do. After we open the DIRs, we want to do b dot table dot intern. Oh, we don't even have a b here. We don't even have a b. Son of a b. Okay, so here's how we do it. No more default values for these bad boys. And now we need to initialize them correctly. I should be doing the same invariant, right? Yeah, empty string, and then where's the... And then I put these guys as ones, and that's fine. Where's path table? Oh shit, I don't put empty path as the first element? That is bad. I should. There we go. Let's see if we build. Oh, and we need to ignore them. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Well, let's use our test bench website now. So we did Zig build, right? Yeah. Okay, so we still got into the zigzag, but we didn't trip. I don't think we tripped. Yeah, it's still a sag fault. We didn't trip the assert. That's good. Out of curiosity, I want to trip the assert. So if I comment this out, I would expect this to work to trip an assert. So let's build. There we go. That trips an assert. Perfect. Okay, what do we do next? So we are allegedly scanning the assets folder. So now we are tripping inside build.assets, I believe. So build. Wait, was it build? Was it side assets? Build assets? What was it? Let's build a new version. Let's watch again where we poop ourselves. Wait a second. What's going on here? Oh. Oh, I left const, I bet you. God damn it. Okay. Now this should segfault. Do the LDB version. Backtrace. Site built-ins asset. So we're calling assets on site. We're calling asset, not assets, asset. Okay, what happens is that asset here says, yeah, and then it does call something called asset find. Yeah, we don't asset find shit now. Okay, let's see how it works. Here we were saying ref is, so we expect to see one argument and we expect it to be a string, and that's the ref that we use to find the asset. That makes sense. So what we want to do here is take that string, parse it into a path plus name tuple, and then check that it's present in assets. Although, to be fair, we need to return a value. So we need to make an asset value out of it. What does an asset provide? An asset contains a reference to itself, a full path to the asset, and a kind. So we need to know that it's a site, a page, or a build asset. So we can just leave it this. I don't know if we need this. If I remember it correctly, items in all subarrays of multi-array lists are aligned to T rather than the minimal requirement alignment for the type. Wouldn't this waste space? I think the point is that the subarrays, they're all part of a sequence. I believe it's one contiguous allocation, right? For all the other subarrays. So wouldn't that necessarily put you in a situation where you have to be aligned to all of T? I'm not sure you can even do it any different. To be honest, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm taking what you're saying at face value. So I'm not even sure that this is the case. I haven't read the multi-array list implementation in a bit, and I don't remember all the details. Also, I think that Andrew recently mentioned being interested in moving away from single contiguous allocation to separate allocations. Maybe. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, what about path? Can we see references to path? Who's referencing path? we're using path for asset collect. We're using path to return the size. Okay. We're using path to read it. And then we're using it again to read. What is this other case? Oh, Ziggy. Okay. It's another case. It's a special case. So, yeah, that makes sense. I think basically we want this to be like this. This needs to be a path name, maybe. A variant of path name. And that's it. And then when we use it, we kind of rehydrate it on demand. Is this a good idea? I'm not sure if this is a good idea, but why not? Okay, now that I'm thinking about it more, you're right. Like this entire thing really doesn't need to be aligned as T because it's never T. It doesn't store T's, so it only stores components, and so the only alignment that you care about is the biggest alignment of any of its fields. I don't know. Maybe that could be an improvement in theory. I guess. Right, which is the same thing in the end. So okay. Let me do this stuff. We have 10 minutes before I have to go. Using the clear identifier variant. Let's import variant. So we have path name. I also know that we're gonna need a bunch of other stuff, but okay. Uh, Site, yeah. So we're looking at this stuff. We have a ref. What do? We return value. Does asset has any kind of courtesy constructor? It does not. What about the kind? This is a site asset, right? So it should be dot site because we're grabbing this from site. Kind tells us what the base path of this guy is, basically. Use an declare identifier path. True. We need to make path. I need a quick bathroom break. I've been drinking too much tea. And then we should be getting there. So after I basically take the path name, take the original string, make it a path name, then we should be good. I'll be right back. Okay. So how do we get a full path out of a ref? In our case, so in the case of side asset, the ref is the path. It's a one-to-one. There's literally nothing that we have to do. To be honest, we could put a reified path in here because we really never need to do anything else with it. We could always put a reified path in there. Let's see. Let's do this. Yeah, let's not concern ourselves with this. I don't want to switch these two things around. Yes. Maybe put log at the end. Okay. Then let's look at who is using path. Calling asset collect. Oh, and asset collect is what gave me the URL. Okay. I see. Devious. Well, in any case, I think we have fixed site. So site is now fixed. Let's watch the let's wait for let's have errors guide our behavior. I found a footnote layout issue from yesterday. It failed for me because I was using page.content sections, and footnotes apparently are considered sections. They are in the IDs list. But they don't have a directive attached. Okay. But I'm still a little bit weirded out by this fact. But yeah, yes, please give me a little bit of context, and then I'll and a repro. Oh, and you're on PR with a fix. Never mind. Then go for it. Let's go. Thank you. Okay. Zine release, continue. We're gonna crash for sure. Backtrace. Where do we hit now? We're hit built-ins.link. Okay, perfect, which is what I was expecting. So we got into asset, const link. Right, so here we are basically producing a link. Let's see. Connecting to an asset will cause it to be installed under the same relative path into the output directory. That is indeed correct. Build assets will be installed under the path defined in your build.zig. Yeah. This is now going to be slightly different. This is now going to be something like public. There's no zig out anymore. I'm not sure if public is the default directory that I like the most, though. Maybe there could be a better name, like out, straight up out. I don't know. In any case, so yeah, you do this, you do this. So how does it work? Oh no, I just realized it's not okay. I get it. So what's the link going to be then? The link for these guys. So we don't do asset collect now. We're not going to do that for now. Let's concern ourselves just with the work of producing a URL for now. So URL is going to be basically the ref that we're given, except with slashes turned the other way if it's on Windows. You know, I just want to see how much progress we can make. So I'm gonna cheat hard. I'm gonna return basically value from, and then I'm gonna do asset dot underscore meta dot ref. straight up. Also, it depends on whether the type of asset that we have, right? Because I can't do ref for all of them. I can do path, though, for all of them. I'm going to do path. Path hopefully kind of works out. Okay. Here we have build, apparently. Let's run again. Where are we hitting? In render HTML, we are asserting. Holy cow. Okay, so we got much further now. So now we are basically looking at Markdown, and we're noticing that some what are they called? Some directives have not been analyzed. I think that this is a processing step of Super Markdown that when do we do this? When do we want to do this? This is okay. Let's look at main. In main, we run get the build, scan templates, scan assets right away. So the assets are immediately available to us, technically. So that means if we do have these assets, it means that when we do, where is it? Section activate, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, when we do these things like section activate, we give it a variant, we give it a section. We should give it also assets. I think it's called build. Here. Yeah, we give it assets because we're going to need that. Oh, yeah. Also, we need to add page assets as we scan them. Oh, this is also interesting. As we scan these variants, we also want to write down page assets. And considering that they never have an overlap with these other assets, maybe this can be called state assets, like side assets. Yeah. So we give side assets to here because we're parsing pages, and to here. We also give side assets. Yeah. Okay, so this is like this. This is like this. Then down here, we pass them to their corresponding function. Oh, page render has all of build already? No. Oh, that's page parse, right. Page parse only has p.variant. Oh, because we do page dot. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it in time to make much progress. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that I need to wire in. In any case, we do want to parse these site assets because when we parse a markdown file, we don't just have an AST, but for an AST, we have also analysis errors. Maybe this should just be SMD. Is there any point in giving it a default value? I'm not sure. Probably not. So what's an SMD analysis error? That's a good question. So what's gonna have in it? For example, bad scripty. Could you have bad scripty? No, we parsed scripty already. Analysis is gonna be like references an asset that doesn't exist. It's pretty much this, now that I think about it. No. Yes. No. Yes. Pretty much. Well, you know what? So far, maybe in the future there might be more, but I think so far this is the only issue. This is the only issue that we might have. There's also another problem, which is we might be referencing other assets from other pages, but that's not the end of the world. So I guess this is where we're going to continue from the next time. I'm going to stop here the streaming now because I need to do stuff before the meeting, which also, where is the meeting going to be? Oh, Mlage is using the poor Italian man being hungry card to convince Andrew to have the meeting at the time that he likes, but it's fine. In any case, yeah, I'm going to stop here. So, thank you all for hanging out. And I'll see you soon. I'll see you next time. See you. Bye bye.